The day of the hairy freak or the fat slob is practically gone.
Let the party begin. I've got snacks.
Hey, look at us. We did it again. Another 7 days round the sun. Welcome to WCW Deep Cuts Live. My name is Tom. My name is there. That's my name. Look at that. TOMGREEN. That spells party time. This is WCW Deep Cuts Live on Tommy Tuesday. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern here on Twitch, we gather to celebrate the quote-unquote forgotten television classics from World Championship Wrestling in the 1990s. Welcome everybody into the Erotic Eric Fontaine Fan Club, aka the chat. Therapy, I hope you stay safe. I saw that you're in Tornado Alley. We just had a really bad storm here. It's still raining out. I was scared for a minute that we would have our power knocked out, and then I couldn't stream. But I'm here. So, if you watched the pre-shows, apologies. The commercial video I was playing beforehand decided to go all crazy. And I feel bad. But hey, we live, we learn, we move on. Speaking of moving on, let's move on to my big ol' thank you to our pals, my pals, our friends, the members of the Weirdo Empire, aka my YouTube members. Big shout out to our newest Weirdo Empire member, Adam Luce. But look at all those folks who are eligible to watch our members only stream this Friday, Not Quite Wrestling. If you were not here Sunday on Off the Grid when I announced what it would be, we'll get to that here in a little bit. But yeah, thank you so much to the members of the Weirdo Empire. If you'd like to join and get in on that monthly members only stream, go to YouTube, go to my channel, and you have to do it in a browser. Hold down the sub button, and it'll give you options. Do that. Y'all are great. Thank you so much. And speaking of you great folks, if you don't want the conversation to stop, join my Discord, tinyurl.com/Discord for Tom Green. Get in there. We're chatting all week, chatting about a many great thing. So yeah, I think today we're talking about Mr. Rogers in there for a bit. Great man. And the future of public television, which is very frustrating as a supporter of that myself. So get in there. I also hope that Connecticut White Cotton Panties fan makes it to Friday's Not Quite Wrestling stream. Again, Not Quite Wrestling is on Friday this month because of that fucking Tony Khan booking a pay-per-view in my spot. But hey, it's been 5 minutes since I started, and we haven't watched a damn ounce of wrestling. So we're gonna get to it. Let's watch WCW Worldwide from May 1998. Let's go. And we're gonna skip ahead a few minutes because the file I have, turns out whoever taped it fucked up. Or not fucked up, but the tracking was all fucked up. So there we go.
Well, everybody. Stagger Lee Marshall taking up a second or two of your time. All of you Tri-State Wrestling fans.
As always, let me know how the audio is.
You really have to say MWO because anywhere WCW
MWO.
MWO will be there as well.
Fair enough with Lee Marshall, who we hung out with on Sunday.
We're going to be in Nassau Coliseum Monday, June 15th, and that means Nitro. Only the hottest thing going. See you for Nitro.
Only the hottest thing going. Worldwide is not going to fill the full 2 hours. We're gonna watch a short episode of Saturday Night after this.
And believe you me, he knows it as well as anyone.
The following announcement has been.
Oh shit! The NWO has sponsored the stream. Oh shit!
Easy being me.
I'll beat your butt, you being a ring, Jack. You ain't got nothing,
You know, Big Papa is a phenomenon.
I love that in Scott Steiner's own hype video, there's a fan that's like, "I'll fight you."
And that's a fact, Jack. Fame has always come easy to me. But I'm known for my
Fame has come easy to him.
largest in the world. Biggest biceps, largest triceps, genetic perfection. I can move mountains with that
Anabolic
tricep.
perfection.
I am
Allegedly.
genetic perfection. What did I
I-
join?
Somebody do the math. I don't think Scott was a dad. He was an actual papa.
joined the
I think he was
NWO 'cause let the Big
just
Papa be
a
the
sexy
Big
guy.
Papa. They let me flex my muscle. They let me do what I want. They let the Big
They let me do what I-
come out. I
What?
am
How did the
biggest.
Steiners
I
get
am the
Southern
greatest.
accents?
Addition.
Being from Michigan.
NWO for life. Largest arm in the world. There's nothing finer than Scott Steiner.
What is up with the saxophone music? All the other NWO vignettes are crunchy guitars. But Scott Steiner got some elevator music.
Look at Scott Steiner, one of the most powerful and
There we go. Johnny attitude.
individuals of the NWO.
But they what a turncoat Scott Steiner, man. I still can't believe a guy with his ability, his background.
Like aggressively Italian.
So, I mean, enjoying the New World Order. And again, that
The
question
big
of
bad booty dude.
Steiner gonna go
Oh.
Asher Hollywood.
I think 8 minutes in you might have won this week, Orion. Jonathan J. Attitude III
Johnny Attitude is
would have been his name, as Brian mentioned, if he would have joined the York Foundation.
in our next
Scott Ron is Rick's
What a
son,
year it's been, Larry. 4 months
not
gone and
Scott's.
years so far, we're into the
Scott's son is currently in college.
struggles, egomaniacs trying to take over our sport. WCW.
Do 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 ha 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 do do do. I always wanted to hear a barbershop quartet do Booker T's music. Do 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 do. Ba da 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 do do. Like acapella. Hey, Teo Chan. Hello. Hello, Elias. Johnny Attitude is what John Hennig would have called himself in 1998. Knowing Russo, he would just called himself Johnny Ass Bitch. Fuck.
I know they don't.
I'm sorry to hear that, Teo. I'm glad you're here, though. Yeah, Rockapella would fucking own that shit. Need to get Greg Gethard on the case.
Star has an ego, but sometimes ego can get the best of you, and that's what's
All right, Booker T and Johnny Attitude. The main event anywhere in the country. This is how I combat NXT. By streaming an old Booker T magic. It's Johnny Attitude. God, white people fucking loved to raise the roof. Ah, I'm sorry to hear that. These freaking tornadoes are just trying to take us all out.
Attitude, who we've seen on this program and who's had a lot of success. His powers his way right out.
Hey, Nathan. Hello, hello. Oh.
My goodness. Another one.
The story on Johnny Attitude, he was like a Florida indie guy. And I need to do a short on this. These two actually have history. Because when Harlem Heat had the cell phone that was supposed to that led to Sherry being their manager, they had taped a match at Disney where Johnny Attitude was their manager, was the guy on the cell phone. And he was doing a Paulie Dangerously gimmick.
Very well put, Larry.
And he sucked so bad that they canceled the whole thing. Ah! Johnny Attitude would later go on to be the commissioner of the Micro Wrestling Federation. Thank you, Bravo. That is an accurate statement, Orion. An accurate observation. He looks like Mike Awesome Cito. I would imagine so. Johnny Attitude, I've heard it was a good payoff guy for the micro wrestlers.
With a tough customer trying to soften up Booker T and keep the guy in the corner too long, you may get to
I think Johnny Attitude doing the Goldberg thing a few months after this is like a mercy killing for that mullet. That thing is so thin. Might as well be a cruiserweight. He is holding on to hair that does not want to be there. Nick Patrick holding on to Booker T because he's nowhere near the rope. Well, what's this? Your illegal forearms, you know? Oh, there we go. How does he get up like that? Johnny Altitude, the pilot. All right. Let go of the ropes, Nick. Ooh! I don't think we'll get to see the Attitude Bomb here. Oh, shit. That was a great drop. Booker had a good drop kick for a huge guy. Dong, 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 dong. All right, Booker T scores the upset win over Johnny Attitude. I love all the various ways that white people would raise the roof. Some of them would do it from the waist. Some of them would just do this. Does Johnny Attitude have a PMA? Remember that PMA bullshit? That like all the shitty, like weirdo punk guys were pumping for a while. It was like Lars Fredrickson and CM Punk and other dudes who are friends with guys who married teenagers. Johnny Platitude. Johnny Latitude, the cartographer. Oh, hey, it's Mike Tolbert. Maybe the most awkward wrestler of all time. Hey, look, he flexed. Mike Tolbert was a power plant guy who didn't get the fucking hint that he sucked. By the way, I was reading Beyond Nitro, the new Guy Evans book. That was a Tim Armstrong joke about marrying teenagers. Look, he's like a dad pretending to be a wrestler. But in Guy Evans' new book, Beyond Nitro, there's a chapter on Lash LaRue's life story, which is really interesting, by the way. Like, that's really very fascinating. That dude came from fucking nothing. Very Darsow. The dad wrestler of all dad wrestlers. But in the book, it's mentioned the power plant guys had to pay their own way to go to the worldwide tapings. And then they would show up and be like, hey, I'm from the power plant. If you need me to lose to anybody, I will lose. And they often didn't get paid. WCW Worldwide Wrestling. So WCW was running the fucking Ian Rotten tryout show scheme. The bell sounds and Tolbert and Darsow hook it up. I saw these two fight at a Little League game. What cash wrestling? Yeah, Mike Tolbert looks like every class, every child's class seems to have that one dad that's way too into fitness. And that's Mike Tolbert. Barry Darsow's only 2 years younger than me here. Wow, 39. Barry Darsow had Smash, Crusher Khrushchev, Repo Man, Mr. Hole-in-One. What else am I missing? I have to be missing one or two. Blacktop Bully, thank you, Great Muda. 5 or 6. Stuart Payne was Mr. Hole-in-One. That's the name that they went with after Payne Stewart died.
Pulling down on the chin, the back of the neck, across the top rope, as you can see, cutting the air supply.
I love punching the guy with the arm that he's been working over. Rah!
Leveling in the offense.
Tolbert, when these guys start
Zbyszko doesn't even pronounce his name correctly, and it's not a hard name to say. I think Demolition's going in next year. Oh gosh, he's bending his arm the right way. But no, Demolition finally signed a Legends deal. They're getting figures. I think next year they're getting in the Hall of Fame. Mad Mountain or Man Mountain? Mad Mountain Darsow sounds sweet. Yeah, Demolition should have been in ages ago, but Bill Eadie sued them. Yes, they were. Bill Eadie was part of a lawsuit. I will not be doing a Why Vern Henderson Rules video, Troy Vang. Referring to that video I posted last night of the most fucked up promo comeback I've ever heard. I think it's just Axe and Smash. I'm not tougher. He's like almost in tears, screaming. Imagine being that hyped after this match.
Painful little wrist lock here, clamps that elbow and pushes it against his chest, and Tolbert had to give up his handicap would go way up. 1-800-CLLLECT.
Like, that's not a thing you could ever actually apply to somebody without them letting you. But it's a painful hole.
Hi, everybody. Stagger Lee Marshall taking up a
Hi, everybody. Stagger Lee.
Tri-State wrestling fans. I want to talk about WCW.
It is like a reverse break special.
Because anywhere WCW shows up, the NWO will be there as well. I guess that means everybody's coming into Uniondale. We're going to be in Nassau County Coliseum Monday, June
Nassau
15th.
Coliseum, where all the fans get to take a nap during the show.
Monday the 15th. Hi, everybody. Stagger Lee here, Lee Marshall, and right now, as I'm talking to you, tickets have been on sale.
What is he doing with his hair?
Really well, for about 30 minutes now, and I don't want you left.
Lee Marshall passed away about 15 years ago, I believe.
The first time WCW comes to Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale. If you check the calendar, June 15th, you'll also see it is the very first time that the Tri-State gets wrestling's most watched, hottest, most electrifying.
By the way, that's wild that Nitro didn't come to New York until '98.
Hey, you know, when it comes to wrestling,
Lee Marshall is kind of like the deep-voiced Paul Bearer.
Haven't seen it all. As a matter of fact, you're in store for one more first. Because as far as wrestling goes,
I love Goldberg just walking around in the background while Lee Marshall's shilling house shows.
Wrestling is talking about Goldberg. For that reason, I know these fans are going to expect nothing less.
Hey, Vera. Hello. Yes, you can repo anything.
You think you've seen it all? Wait till you see me in the ring in Uniondale, guys. You ain't gonna believe it, okay? I don't care who it's against. And I don't even care where it is, but it happens to be Uniondale. And you bring your cameras, and you bring your notepads, because it's going to be.
You bring your notepads. Taking shots at Dave Meltzer. Bring your notepads so you can write your reviews.
Well, you know, Jack Hammer.
Yeah, you're the bit from the.
My best friend who nobody wants to meet, but guaranteed Monday, June the 15th. Somebody will meet.
Anybody that's met Jack Hammer thus far has yet to forget it. In fact, I can't think of anybody that's.
Yeah, Lee kind of looks like he saw Goldberg's jackhammer.
Like we said, our first visit, and we hope to see you there, but act very quickly. We are going to sell out Uniondale, the Coliseum.
I have to think, like, some of the guys did these promos
Tickets are on sale as I speak.
Because the two-shot cut off at the waist.
Before we go back to the ring for our feature bout, here's what's on tap next week on Worldwide Wrestling. Well, Big Papa Pump will be here.
And his hat. He tried to make a hat work early in the heel run.
Iaukea will join us next week on Worldwide Wrestling. From there, we're going to go to
Jim Neidhart. Jim Neidhart was his like real name. They didn't have to misspell it for copyright reasons. I was never fond of this worldwide set either. It's too fancy. Hey, it's Sick Boy. I love that his logo is snot, like a loogie. So I cut off part of the episode, part of this episode, because like the tracking was all messed up and the noise was just atrocious and it kept rolling. So this is only a partial episode, but we'll be getting more. Hey, Scotty Riggs. More like Scotty eating the pussy. Am I right?
He's got to feel bad. I mean, he wrestled his heart out, but he just couldn't compete against so many members of the flock.
Sick Boy, one of my favorite wrestlers, named after a heroin addict.
But as the fans stand up to pay homage to one of their great champions, you look and you
Cody Schiavone worded that like DDP's an old folk hero coming back into town after conquering some king over in Europe. Pirate Scotty Riggs wants to plunder your booty. Hey, look, it's the one star that worked this taping. Bow, wow, bow, 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 bow.
Diamond Dallas Page and the fans.
DDP had them hand out his 8x10 before the show so that all the fans could hold it up. And it's like a really outdated 8x10. I've told the story on here before, but for the new folks, DDP did that angle with Raven on MTV around this time. And on MTV Live, not Total Request Live, MTV Live, the predecessor, with Carson Daly. And they played DDP's music before his segment, and the guest before him was Dave Grohl. It was Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters. And Dave Grohl's like, what the fuck is this? He recognized it. And he went back to the Nirvana estate lawyer and was like, hey, these wrestling guys just straight up fucking stole our song. But of course, since this is 1998, Dave Grohl's lawyer, or the Nirvana lawyer, the estate lawyer, wrote a cease and desist to the WWF, saying, stop using our song. To which Jerry McDevitt replied, we don't. And thus, that's how they got away from it. That's how they got away with it, rather. Yankee Hawk, this was taped at Universal.
Runs over, Sick Boy. You know, Page has really had so many injuries.
The Page?
But that does not deter him from going in the
Bret Hart writing this copy.
Now, he's really, I mean, pain is part of the game, but there is a point where you got to take care of your body or it will just give up. And Diamond Dallas, I can't remember a time when he wasn't wrestling with, you know, protective things over his ribs like this and elbow pads. And
there is so much greasy ass hair in this match.
Your career can end anytime.
I think this is the same studio. No, actually, no, it's not the same studio as the Impact Zone. Impact Zone's way bigger than this. I think it's a different studio. Yeah, Brian, I was trying to figure out how to word that, but yeah, it looks like DDP's just wearing an old person like back brace. Worldwide aired at different times in different markets. I know in Indianapolis it aired Saturday mornings at 10. The WB affiliate. No worries, Best Miata. You got plenty of show ahead of you. Yeah, it's like a lift. I think it's a lifting belt, but it's like a wrap. Like it's not like one of those Hogan lifting belts. Yeah, Dallas Page just got through his team lift training at Lowe's.
Wow, Page firing back again.
Worldwide was 4 p.m. Saturdays in New Mexico, so it's party on Barth. Brian. Sick Boy, after WCW, he was signed by the WWF. Went into developmental for like years. There we go, Diamond Cutter. He was like so close to getting called up that like the last year of his contract, he wasn't even in developmental. He was just doing dark matches. And then he got fired.
I think they're like that even with Raven, but nevertheless, knowing the demeanor of Diamond Dallas.
Oh yeah, dude, I worked at Walmart in high school. I know all about the team lift.
They just walked around to the side very calmly and avoided Diamond Dallas, knowing probably.
Yeah, they gave me a magazine. Diamond Cutter. Shoulders back, chest out. That was the rumor, yes, that Scott Vick was going to be Katie Vick's angry brother who would try to kill Kane for murdering his sister. Sick Boy at the time was billed as Scott Vick and Joey Legend. Also known as Scott Vick versus Steve Bradley. Joey Legend's not Sick Boy. Two different guys, but they wrestled each other in so many WWF dark matches.
This is WCW Worldwide.
All right, let's see who we get next coming out of that set. Oh, Fidel Sierra, aka Cuba's Top Gun, aka Dave Sierra, aka Dave Sierra with a mask. Yeah, that's a thing I've ripped off of Brian Zane. Like, I first heard it in the DDP yoga workout, but yeah, Brian Zane's got that stuck in my head. Yes, Vic and Legend and Steve Bradley were the Cena, Lesnar, and Orton of dark match results for like 3 years. There we go. Jim Duggan. Fancy transition onto his screen. Shout out to Dark Side of the Ring for finding Dave Sierra for that Billy Jack Haynes episode. I agree, no, you stick it. Jim Duggan, if you're going to have a baby face in the opening match on your show, it should be Jim Duggan or somebody close. You can always get the people into it without doing a whole lot. Worldwide was shot at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida at this time, yes.
We'll find out. I'll try to be nice to the guy.
I'm sure he will not try to be nice.
But look what he did. He's got the
Yeah, I feel like the last few years of WCW, Jim Duggan had to like find his own flagpoles. He would have some weird sized flagpoles. These two would later have a feud on Saturday night over the World Television title. In the year 2000, they would have a flag match. I'm sure we'll watch at some point. Jimmy Jet, the referee, those long sleeves. Who knows what racist tattoos he's hiding? Buddy Landau update, according to Iaukea 4. Buddy wrestled a dark match against Edge before a WWF taping in Chattanooga.
Oh, come on, Larry. He's very successful.
Caveman, all right.
Very successful pro wrestler, and the style that he uses works for him. And Sierra now, hits him with the right hand, puts him down the mat.
Well, he's trying to keep Duggan down because Duggan on his feet is hard to handle, but he's got a strong upper body.
USA. USA. He's going to tickle him.
It's going to be hard against a guy like Duggan. He's just too thick to get your fingers in there.
Duggan looks like he comes out of one of those tough man contests, you know, one of those just on-the-street brawler types, not a polished pro wrestler, but...
Yeah, R.I.P. Jordan Baker, who passed away in the last week. Also, R.I.P. George Wendt. I said it earlier on Blue Sky. He's the first guy who I saw on television when I was a kid, and I'm like, hey, that guy's funny. I had a Jim Duggan foam 2x4 when I was a kid, and I think my dad spent like $30 on it. And he actually did make that comment. He's like, I should have just gotten you some wood from the hardware store. Oh. Old Glory knee drop. And once again, America prevails over Cuba. Doop. Doop. I have to think he's fucked up that throw and dropped that thing on his face. Let's see who's going to promote the house show. I think that's an actual coat rack behind them.
WCW first day of ticket sales event. It really was colossal because we sold out the Nassau Coliseum in 1 hour. Sold it out. If you have tickets to Monday Nitro for June 15th.
So why are we promoting the house show then if it's sold out?
Nah. I've got tickets. You don't. Well,
what an asshole.
So fast, but again, thanks to all the fans that responded to that. Let me bring in one of the men responsible for it, the guy that really is in charge of everything that happens.
Are you? Oh my gosh. Gary Juster.
Gary Juster, first of all, congratulations. In hours time, that's got to be, if it's not a record.
I love how none of the wrestlers wanted to do promos. So they're like, Gary, come in. Come on.
There were 2,000 fans. Thank you all lined up.
Gary Juster, longtime event promoter.
Lance Elder, the general manager of the Nassau Coliseum. Lance, we appreciate you believing
He's
in us.
pals with my buddy Ian Riccaboni.
We did a great job for you. The show's going to be tremendous. Lee, they tell me that several art celebrities, New York's the arts capital of the world.
Several art celebrities.
Singer-songwriter Bob Mould, actor Kevin O'Neill, and one of the smartest comics today, comedian Liz Winstead. They're all coming to Nitro.
Liz Winstead's coming to Nitro.
Fans, like we said, if you don't have a ticket now.
Was Bob Mould living in New York at the time? He's a Minnesota guy.
Now, this is the TV show that everybody all over the tri-state area has been watching for going on 3 years, Gary. But to be there live, that's going to be one.
Did Lee think it was only airing in the tri-state area?
New York fans, we're finally able to deliver, and we're really excited about it.
You're not only going to see the greatest athletes on the planet,
you're also going to see Liz Winstead sitting in the third row.
To experience live the hottest wrestling show going.
That's when you know you don't have to sell tickets, when the house show promoter gets to go on and just brag about all the celebrities coming. Now it's like even though wrestling was more popular back then, they really have done a better job of courting more famous celebrities. Like, it was a big deal to get like a Bob Mould, even though Bob Mould was at all the WCW shows. Bob Mould is not in the writer's room. No, that would be about a year and a half after this. Bob Mould just kind of hung around WCW for a while.
He's going to be caught right in the middle of the explosion.
Speaking of not good news, it's not good news for Hall and Nash, the outsiders. They will have to defend the World Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, Larry Zbyszko with the turtleneck here. Looking real sharp. Looking like a real Scientologist.
What an opportunity to complete that split and break up forever the new world order, or it's the main.
In addition,
Wow, he didn't call it the New World Order. Thank you, Judas Effect. Join the Discord if you want to see what card they're promoting. Larry was so inexplicably popular because of Scott Hall. Because he was the only babyface Scott Hall would sell for. This is the Superstar Scott Steiner era. Big Papa Dump. He's really trying to get that hat over. This is his hat era. Worldwide, was that Che from the Nitro Girls? Now this was like the lowest denominator show. This is the C show. White Thunder Scott Steiner was right before this. For like a week or two before standards and practices were like, that's fucking racist. Yeah, Scott Steiner really wanted to get that hat over, but it just didn't work.
How about that? Words of wisdom from the living legend Larry Zbyszko. Now confronting David. Ooh, Scott Steiner and Jim Powers.
Well, good, Jim. Jim got to check that wrist tape. It's always at risk of falling off when you're walking that fast to the ring. I love the piano breakdown in this song. Everybody's all about the guitars in the Jim Powers song. I'm all about the piano. Do bow 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 bow. That's frightening. Oh my gosh. Is this a shoot? Does Scott Steiner think this is real? That's Jim Steele, not Jim Powers. Jim Powers was in the Young Stallions in the WWF. Jim Steele was Wolf Hawksfield.
Against Curt Hennig, the New World Order in our feature bout here on Worldwide Wrestling, and Mark Curtis letting Big Papa Pump know to stay away.
Like, Jim Powers is gigantic, and he looks like a normal person next to Scott Steiner. Jim Powers is 40 here. Stronger than Jim Aluminum.
It went out the window. Whatever Hollywood, Hogan, or Bischoff, or Nash, or whoever told him to get him to join the NWO and stab his own brother in the back's too much.
To the midsection.
Scott Steiner's letting Jim Powers do a lot, and by a lot, I mean 3 kicks and a knee lift. Yeah, he was with Paul Roma as the Young Stallions. I kind of wonder. I think it would have been neat if they did like a heel version. Yogi Bart, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you bringing the soda and the crackers. It would have been interesting if Roma stuck around long enough for them to hire Powers, and they did like a middle-aged Stallions heel gimmick.
Scott Steiner puts him up on the top turnbuckle.
Shut up. Now, I think the reason why Jim Powers didn't get far in the WWF was just he was very mediocre and short. Holy shit. A T-bone suplex off the second rope in a worldwide match. Fuck.
Now the Steiner recliner.
Get off the fucking hard cam shot, Vincent. Couldn't even wait for the finish.
And Scott Steiner, I guess, showing his trophies to the world here.
Well, everybody's got trophies, but most people with trophies.
When all the gyms combine, you get Jim Powers.
Dignity and pride. Scott Steiner.
Rules and that NWO shirt, I always thought it was so dweeby. The rules and bones are meant to be broken. Like the shitty clip art font. The trophy, for some reason, when he turned heel, they started claiming he was winning all these bodybuilding tournaments. It's Virgil's shortest autograph trophy. Shout out Brian Hildebrandt. All right. El Dandy, my guy. Here we go, El Dandy. legitimately an all-time great. What Steiner promo do I like more, Steiner Math or the Equalax promo? I don't know. I think Steiner Math was funnier at the time. I think it's been beaten into the ground and then some. All right, El Dandy against Prince Iaukea. The entrance that looks like something from Ricky Lake or Maury. Prince Iaukea, you are not the father. Maybe that's how they gave out the finishes. Like Terry Taylor would go over disorderly conduct. You are not the winners. El Dandy, you are a zaddy. El Dandy is.
The cruiserweight champ and was defeated by Chris Jericho. Now against El Dandy here.
I love Forgotten Lies 1987, the year I was born. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate bringing the flat soda and the crackers. That's great.
It's like golf. To be good, you got to hit 1,000,000 balls. To be a great wrestler, you've got to do the hold 1,000,000 times.
Nick Patrick appears to be almost falling over. There we go. Garb the rope.
Arm whip takedown, nicely done by Prince Iaukea. You know, Larry, I know you appreciate Prince Iaukea, the young man, and his efforts.
Also, if you are either lurking tonight or watching via VOD on YouTube, big hello to a silent member of the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club, Paul London. Found out recently he watches these.
Qualified to become a champion. Few can master them all.
And that's why few are legends in our sports.
Oh, true.
Yeah, Paul London is reached out and said that he, even before I did the why Paul London rules video, he was watching the videos. Very, very flattering, very humbling. Paul London's fucking awesome. Such a sweetheart too.
Trying to get Iaukea all emotionally out of control here, and Prince, well, he went up.
He went up and flips him out of the center of the ring near the
Dude, yeah, those Dandy Satanico matches. You know, I rewatched a couple of them for the Dandy video I did. So fucking good. So fucking good.
Iaukea very, very angry.
Oh, one time too many.
Tried a second drop kick, but that one, El Dandy saw it coming.
Thank you, Great Muda.
And knocks him off his feet.
I tried to be edutainment. Edutainment? Sure, Byron Allen has the copyright on that phrase. Hey, giving a shout out to Thunder Rosa, who was sitting at home in elementary school. Oh gosh, all right.
Well, they take full advantage of it. Plus, Patrick maybe cut them some slack. A lot of these luchadors pretend they don't speak any English. It throws the officials sometimes.
Oh, that was almost racist. I don't know, Paul, if you're watching, if you feel the need to comment whether or not you eat ass, you can do so in the chat or in the comments on YouTube. If you would like to refrain, please feel free.
Yeah, couldn't bend El Dandy enough, get the weight over it. That's a good kick there, right in the solar plex.
All right, do doctors know what a solar plexus is? Is that just a wrestling thing? I feel like it's just a wrestling thing.
Over to the fans.
They're annoying him.
Man, but that gives Prince Iaukea a chance to get his breath here.
Up and over. Why didn't anybody ever tickle Prince Iaukea feet? Hey, Northern Lights suplex.
And he beats it.
El Dandy sees the lights.
Yeah, you don't need to comment on that, Paul London. Some things can stay private.
And earned every bit of that win against El
Yeah, that guy is so fucking excited. There's that guy in the back that's like, where's the raise the roof guy? I want him back. Prince Iaukea became the artist towards the end of the first Russo Ferrara run. in late 99. So he's got another year or so as the Prince.
Nice suplex, just couldn't get out of it. Now Dandy, he's counting the light bulbs on the ceiling. That's very bad.
Your winner is Prince Iaukea. Scott Steiner has wrestled, but Rick Steiner is here. He'll face Curt Hennig in our feature bout, but next, Jim the Anvil Neidhart when Worldwide continues.
Wow, Curt Hennig and Rick Steiner, which they did not advertise, by the way. Like 2 stars. And they're like, nah, we don't need to put them in the commercial. Babyface manager Ted DiBiase. So goofy. All right, who will Jim Neidhart be wrestling? Buddy Lee Parker. They spelled my name right. He seems surprised that they put a screen there. Oh shit, they've updated the place since I last got to walk out. Fucking Cadet Kelly looking ass. Look at that! Hey, Jim Neidhart's graphic is kind of neat. They actually incorporated his image into it, unlike everybody else's. Though it kind of looks like he's like drowning. I'm a lemonade mouth guy myself. My wife fucking loves lemonade mouth. By the way, happy birthday tomorrow to my lovely wife Alex. Neidhart's not taking a bump in the ring, that is. Yeah, I thought it was so weird that Neidhart and Bulldog just kept their WWF jackets from the Hart Foundation. And like the logos were all like faded and shit on the back. Like it looked like they had been through the wash too many times. I will send all of your birthday wishes to her. Thank you, thank you. Why does he care who's got the championship? I don't know, the whole point of wrestling? Jim Neidhart is so coked out of his mind that he got bored doing a chin lock. That's fucking awesome. Big stupid grin, thank you for upping that sub. Tip of the cap. As the gambler would say. Oh, that was rough. What? Why was that the thing? It looked like he pinned him too. Like he legit forced down Buddy Lee Parker's arm. Did he just like pin Buddy Lee Parker? Hey, what do you want to do for a finish? Not a full suplex, just half a one. Yeah, Roderick Strong trained in Jim Neidhart's backyard. Why was WCW? Oh yeah, the Lucha pilot. I believe it was because the station Luis Telemundo was like, where are the stars? Where's the Hulk Hogan's and those guys? And so They trashed the entire like $20,000 set they made, and just aired like Nitro replays with all the luchador matches included. And it was cost efficient, and again, none of the stars worked the tape.
We're going to be in Nassau County Coliseum Monday, June 15th, and that means Nitro. Only the
again, if the show's sold out, you don't have to promote it. Yeah, Jim Neidhart is the most XWF guy that didn't work the XWF.
This time, I mean, my mind is blown. We announced that WCW was coming into the tri-state area, into the Nassau Coliseum, bringing Monday Nitro, June 15th. We really expected this event to be a sellout. Well, sure enough.
No, it was another
time. This event
it was to get more TV money. Set up a separate TV deal. Telemundo.
Thank everybody who got out there early.
Like, I don't think they gave a shit if the luchadors got over.
Sales event, or should I say the 1-hour ticket event. Now, we want to remind
Marshall's such a cocky prick. Yeah, you know those tickets that sold out in 1 hour. Why am I even promoting this?
By bringing in the executive director of WCW's executive committee, JJ. Like I said,
nobody wanted to do promos.
60 minutes.
JJ's wearing jeans.
Not a ticket to be found.
Lee, I have a very good friend, Steve Hissler, from Pastime Productions that lives here in the area.
JJ Dillon just shouting out his friends.
Had parked out overnight, got their tents, and wanted to be first in line, or at least early in line. And it's a good thing that people decided to come the night before.
Gene had stopped doing worldwide promos at this point.
I have to admit, I'm somewhat surprised that it sold out in 1 hour's time. But then again,
and maybe next they'll have the camera operator put the camera down and walk over to like the front of the camera.
Anytime we come to an arena, and I knew in the back of my mind it would be no different at the Nassau Coliseum. It just says a statement about WCW.
It most certainly does, and because we sold out so quick.
It was their first New York Nitro.
State area. I mean, we're a bit like Douglas MacArthur at Corregidor fans. We will return. So those of you who did not get your tickets to see this Nitro, stand by. We're going to be there, but.
JJ Dillon he wasn't president of WCW. He was the head of the executive committee. JJ was always very, very constipated. All right, therapy. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Glad to hear you're safe. Here we go. Curt Hennig, who seems very confused. Wait, is this the place I was supposed to walk out into? I don't know. Yeah, WWE pretty much shut WCW out of most of the major New York arenas. Like, they had to really force their way in. Did JJ do anything with the WWE? I don't believe so. JJ mostly like just hung out at home, did occasional indies. He managed the North Star Express in Chikara for the Chikara World Tag Grand Prix in, I believe, 2006. Could you imagine JJ Dillon being the prison guard? And like you're an inmate. Poor Ricky still had to include Scott in his song. There's the story of two brothers, me and my piece of shit brother Scott. I'm gonna bite somebody tonight. Yeah, Hennig did not commit to the NWO stuff at all. Did not get the hint about the color scheme. Hey, Green Boy. I think that kid got Scott Steiner's hat. Next time, Michigan University. I think it took Rick until like 1999 to get his own music. That's the Japanese edit, Brian. That's the B-side. Curt Hennig's yelling at Ted DiBiase, "Hey, keep my seat warm at the bar." Are we on for darts later? Oh shit, BDSM time. Get your ass in here, you little sub.
Always wait till the man backs up.
Good plan. Billy Silverman, the referee, and Hennig trying to get back in the ring, and Rick Steiner is ready to go here.
You know, I always wondered if Rick Steiner ever found his other white boot.
Let's see if Curt Hennig actually tries here. I think Curt had more fun fucking around in WCW. Yeah, Ted DiBiase, he's not a politician, but he sure is corrupt. Very greedy. His ass should go to jail too, just like his son. About the last round last night, it's your turn. Curt Hennig will have my respect forever for no showing an RF video shoot interview because the weather was nice and he wanted to go to the beach. He took a bump, so that's more than a lot of guys have done.
Getting the heck out of there when you're in trouble. You did. Certainly, it's stupid to stay in there when you're in trouble. I don't know if I would lay claim to that.
Come on.
Well, a smart thing to do.
A fight. You should challenge him to a game of fast money. I kicks Rick Steiner's ass doing that. This tape really does not want to watch this match. I heard Joe Hennig is not feeling much pain at that convention. What the fuck's going on here? Curt Hennig's so lazy that the tape stopped. What if the ghost of Curt Hennig is fucking with my stream? What if I'm being ribbed from beyond the grave by Curt Hennig? Yeah, this is a pretty big match for Worldwide at the time. It took us a minute to watch the last 5 seconds of this match. Hey, Fran, hello. Oh gosh, that gum did land. Oh gosh, that's gross. Yeah, I need to check my hat. See if Curt Hennig's taking a dump. A ghost dump.
So to get some added leverage, he steps through the arms, as you can see. Curt Hennig fans. Now Macho Man Randy Savage to go one-on-one.
I love how in pro wrestling something like that is like just something you do to fill time. But if you were to punch a guy like that in real life with his head twisted and cranked, you'd like kill him. Yeah, I need to look at like a Curt Hennig ghost image as my technical difficulty stream. That's awesome, boys. My mom had a rewinder. Oh! I am stunned Curt Hennig took that move. There's who is that? Oh, Scott Steiner. Curt Hennig couldn't fucking lose. Hey, we're building lore. on Worldwide.
Steiner helps Curt Hennig avoid the 1, 2, 3, and look.
They did nothing and then couldn't do a finish.
For the living legend Larry Zbyszko, I'm Tony Schiavone. See you next week on Worldwide Wrestling.
There we go, some more Johnny Attitude. Second match in an hour.
On opposite ends of the pro wrestling spectrum.
Oh god, this Disco Glenn against fucking Johnny Attitude. Why not do a finish on a show this minor? See, typically wrestlers love to lay down for minors. Oh wait, I misunderstood that comment. I just learned that Pretty Deadly's music is like a disco ripoff, like an ABBA ripoff. I had never seen them wrestle on the main roster. I just seen their promos. Disco Glenn and his little Xbox headset. Disco Dickhead. No, I don't want to see it. I think that kid has like a hernia problem. Oh god, could you imagine Disco Inferno in ECW? With little Guido. Oh, he's a babyface here. I'm sure that's oh, we recognize that guy. He has to be the good guy.
Some of the people like him, Larry. They like the way
Shake your booty attitude, says their asses. Disco Glenn is just a reanimated pile of Curt Hennig poop. But I say Max Caster's the Disco of AEW. If there's gonna be somebody comparable to Disco Glenn in 2025, it's probably Max Caster. Oh god, could you imagine Disco talking about anything with New Jack?
Attitude is one powerful man, almost daring Disco Inferno to hook up with him one more time. Disco finally does hook in, and Johnny Attitude.
And the crazy thing is, those two both came from the Georgia indie scene.
Runs over him again.
So there's a good chance that somewhere out there, there's some fan in Georgia that has a tape of an unseen Disco Inferno versus New Jack match from like 1992. Brian Hildebrandt warning Disco for his shitty opinions. Disco getting the Chris Benoit Rock and Rebel treatment from the WWE Vault editors. We can't put this up anywhere. They're calling him too many F slurs. God, the Glenn Gilberti TNA Serious Main Eventer run, where like he's the leader of Sports Entertainment Extreme, and they have him like feud with AJ for the world title, is some of the funniest shit. Because like they build him up for a month as a serious world title contender. He has a mediocre match with AJ, and then within like 6 or 8 weeks after that, he's back to being goofball Glenn Gilberti. They just give up on him.
Attitude's got to get a little bit more perfection on the mat. These guys tend to.
Oh, the AJ promo with the chainsaw? Is that what you're referring to?
Many of them don't have the brain.
No, not Rockin' Robin, Rockin' Rebel. Rockin' Rebel was he's a longtime indie guy, but he worked as an undercard guy for ECW. And he pulled a Benoit. He killed his family and then himself. So if you search through the chapter marks of those ECW shows, he is not acknowledged. Yeah, Johnny Attitude's mullet is barely hanging on. I'm sure he did not need much encouragement to do the Goldberg thing.
That's not that new of a hole, but it has the same result.
New for him, and he covers him and wins. 1, 2, 3. The Disco Inferno comes away.
I love that Disco won so infrequently. Oh, Therapy, thank you for giving out that sub. That's awesome. Thank you. That he had like a whole home run victory celebration dance. Yeah, Cody kind of ended Disco's pundit career. Like, he can't even be like a Vince Russo who says something so stupid once a year that people still pay attention to him for a day. He doesn't even get that. Cody just shit all over him.
Hi, everybody. Lee Marshall, and let's talk about Monday Nitro coming into New York. Nassau
Let's see what
Coliseum
schlub it's called. I'm not that I'm calling Gary Juster a schlub. I'm just saying.
To that point, we want to thank all the fans in the Tri-State.
The fuck is up with the audio?
Camped out overnight to make sure you could get seats. Now, here's what we're trying to do as I speak. We are trying to figure out if there's going to be any more room within. How much room the cameras take, how much room the set takes, and if they can squeeze another couple of seats in there, they will do it. So our suggestion is drop by the Nassau Coliseum on Monday the 15th and see if in fact they do have a couple of seats available. I think the one thing that has really attracted fans to WCW and this particular Nassau event on Monday Nitro is that WCW has some of the toughest guys going.
Some of the toughest guys going.
Sub-fraternity of the tougher than tough guys, and one of them will have to be Fit Finlay, the new television
Fit Finlay
of the world.
They actually got a wrestler to do one of these promos.
And I think people are finally realizing that you truly are what you.
Shout out to Fit Finlay for walking around backstage
one of the world's
in a windbreaker and no shirt.
Open your eyes, isn't it? You know, I've been giving you warnings all along since I hit this crusty country. Nobody paid attention.
Country.
I done what I came here to do, and this is the first step of many. There will be other defeats, surprises, and shocks, believe me.
Let me ask you, and don't hesitate in telling me if you think I'm out of bounds, but would you consider going for the U.S. title held by Goldberg?
I do.
Well, that might be in my plans, but I'm not letting you know all my roots. But let me tell you, this is
yeah.
the first
Look, he doesn't have any roots
showing.
Many more. Whoever did his hair did a great job.
You go back to the locker room, you ask the guys, who's the toughest guy walking.
Lee Marshall standing outside of the toilets, waiting for somebody to pop up. Hey, it's Lee Marshall here promoting the Nassau Coliseum show. Got Lex Luger here with me. Lex, how was that poop?
All right, still to come in this program, fans. We're going to see high voltage and tag team action.
Oh,
Brian
shit, high
Adams
voltage.
of NWO Hollywood will be here against Beautiful Bobby in our feature bout, plus Super Calo in singles competition from Mexico. But Larry, you talked about it earlier. The split of the NWO now deepens. Scott
Larry
Hall
wearing a
attacks
colored
Kevin
shirt
Nash
this week.
Recently at Slamboree, causing the Giant
Got rid of the turtleneck.
to win the World Tag Team Championship. No one ever thought that in the power structure of the NWO that Hall and Nash would split.
No, in fact, even myself was completely shocked knowing.
Even
Scott
myself
Hall
was completely shocked. That's not how you. That's not how that sentence works. Is this AI Larry Zbyszko?
Of mistrust to spread through both sides.
Oh, the noises Lex Luger would make.
And of course, the Giant and
Looney, thank you so much for the follow.
Thank
you for bringing the soda and the crackers. Got a lot of that tonight. Thank you.
On WCW Monday Nitro. Right now, let's go back to the ring.
That is no, it's WCW where the big boys play polo. Oh shit, Jerry Flynn, Lightning Foot himself.
All right, Jerry Flynn makes his way in. You know,
that's a sweet logo.
A couple of weeks ago was awesome, and we had.
That's a fighting game logo that Jerry Flynn got there. Look at that. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet font.
And that has popped in one of the biggest tag team matches in WCW pay-per-view history, where Hollywood Hogan and Bret Hart will meet Savage and Piper.
Business in the front, Tea Party in the back.
On June 14th. But right now, let's go back to David Penzer.
His opponent,
a very Street Fighter 2 logo. Wait. Did Dave Penzer forget Ernest Miller's last name. Did he call him Ernest the Cat or just the Cat? I always loved that Ernest Miller got to keep his first name, Ernest. Here comes our top wrestling star, Ernest.
Jerry Flynn, two men with the background in karate and...
You just heard the Cat, okay. For some reason, I thought he called him Ernest the Cat, which sounds like a PBS cartoon more than anything. I love that these two karate masters start their match with a wrist lock into a reverse hammer lock. Ernest goes to the power plant.
Take the man down. Good point there.
Hey, Vern Henderson.
To Matt Wrestling. Here's a backsliding drop.
Toilet time with Lee Marshall.
The Cat.
Yes, he did fit Blood Runs perfectly, like you said. Glacier, Mortis, Wrath, Ernest.
Well, the Cat had him down, but he couldn't hold Flynn down.
Ernest saves Starcade. I don't think anybody could have saved that Starcade ending.
Snap married him over.
They were both legit karate guys.
Into the side of the head. Still to come, fans. Ryan Adams will face Bob Eaton in our feature bout. High voltage and tag team action.
Jerry Flynn did like very primitive early MMA.
From Nitro. What happened is you see a tremendous clothesline from Jerry Flynn.
That was Eric Bischoff going, "Hey, Ernest, you're really nice to my kid. Want a job?
And that, believe me, being aggressive.
$200K a year? Oh."
I know the Cat is a
yeah, Speedball. And Speedball's not even a karate guy. He's a taekwondo guy. Mr. JL and Jerry Flynn did not ever have a match. They couldn't because they shared entrance music.
I understand.
Jerry Lynn and Jerry Flynn had the same entrance song. I'm not kidding. Go back and find any Jerry Lynn or Mr. JL match. It's the Jerry Flynn music. I genuinely think when Jerry Lynn quit, they just put an F in the file name and switched it over.
To the eyes, Jerry Flynn.
You know those knife-edge chops that guys throw in karate?
Flynn's doing a nice job of trapping this guy in the corner.
I think it was literally just somebody who was lazy and just put an F before Lynn in the file name in the truck. Like, fuck it. I'm done.
Flynn is great, but nice guys finish last sometimes.
Elbow drop down from Jerry Flynn. To punctuate that, here's another one.
Again, all those elbow drops that you do in karate fights.
Ernest Miller back up. And the Cat hits the top turnbuckle, but that will
Ernest Miller's like, fuck it. My comeback starts now.
That's going to knock the wind right out of you. It's actually a death blow. And Cat following it up.
Maybe Terry Taylor never looked up from his sheet long enough to realize that Jerry Flynn was like a foot taller.
Yes, it was.
Here comes the feliner. That's a sick kick that I'm surprised nobody has tried to bring back. Chuck Norris would finish guys off with the elbow drop and Walker Texas Ranger. That is a dope fucking kick. Hey, look, that guy stole Scott Steiner's hat too.
The Cat here on WCW Worldwide. There he is. The fastest feet in WCW, no question. And we're going to go back and look at what went down.
Are we measuring everyone's feet for speed? Was there a foot quickness contest? A combine? This razzle dazzle on the ropes. Wait to learn the guy's move names.
Your winner is the Cat on Worldwide Wrestling. Still to come, Brian Adams of NW Hollywood against Bob Eaton. But right now,
you could, but Ernest Miller was good enough at karate and jumping that it was never really much of a concern. JJ Dillon was so close. Hey, it's Damian 666 and Cyclope.
Still, I think if you picture a big guillotine in your mind, at the bottom of that blade lies the head
Satan and his friend, a pumpkin.
Will Macho Man pull the rope or not?
The question remains as Damian and Cyclope come out.
Yes, Damian without the paint.
Quite a story.
I assume he left it at home.
The young duo of High Voltage. Our fans who joined
Against
us
High Voltage, you know, this obvious match.
They fought with Cyclope in the Battle Royal, the Cruiserweight Battle Royal. Who won the Cruiserweight Battle Royal? But
They are so oily.
walked out of the ring, Cyclope unmasked, and it was Dean Malenko.
Look at them titties.
Jericho and become Cruiserweight champion again. What a moment that was in our sport.
It was such about Jericho was so shocked he couldn't have stopped Dean Malenko from beating him a Fiend's sneeze. That's how shocked Jericho was. But Jericho was asking for it.
Like, that makes it sound like Jerry Flynn and High Voltage babysat you, big stupid grin.
And he paid for it, and we heard some
High Voltage, very underrated team. Especially in this period after they came back from New Japan.
To me that Malenko, even though he won the Cruiserweight belt, is not finished with Chris Jericho.
No, he's got another brother, too.
Like, and they were another set of guys that I think just came along a little too late.
Okay, Cyclope and Damian in there against
Kenny Chaos, one of the only Alaskan wrestlers. Yeah, those singlets do not stand a chance against those large breasts that High Voltage have.
They want to be the best, and I'm telling you, a couple years down the road, they may be.
Back against the ropes. Into the other side he goes.
Oosh.
Missed a back elbow. Pinwheel kick. Took the man off one foot that time. Down to one knee. Missed a clothesline. Up.
I've not seen them wrestle in New Japan. I just know that, oh shit. I just know that when they came back from New Japan, they were way better.
These luchadors are hard to beat at their own game, and that's movement. High Voltage, big, strong.
Cyclope is the one in the orange. Damian 666 is the one in the blue and black.
South of the border, noted for their speed, their explosiveness. Mr. Clothesline again, and now.
I thought he called him Mr. Clothesline. Kenny Chaos, Mr. Clothesline.
More tags, the merrier, and High Voltage, they're caught on well.
I love that Kenny offered him Cyclope's arm, and Robbie Rage is like, fuck it, single leg takedown. I'm gonna fucking kill you in this STF. Ugh. Yeah, I think it was Ebenezer Prime. The fact that they weren't even 6 foot tall. Like, they're huge, but they're just really short. Like, I know in like 96, 97, the idea was that High Voltage would be the new Steiners. And like, even the idea of putting Kenny Chaos with Rick Steiner was that he was going to be the new Scott Steiner. Like, they had that idea planted in their heads for years.
I tell you, these guys remind me of when the Harlem Heat first arrived and you saw their careers went. And it makes champions out of these guys.
Well, it's not that he didn't lock it in. It's just a step over toe hold. STF is step over toe hold face lock. There we go.
Yeah, couldn't get underneath that chin.
No, he's just doing the step over toe hold. Kind of like a calf slicer. I think High Voltage would be a big deal nowadays.
He just ran into it.
Two beefy little dudes who could do springboards.
Straight into him. Looks like their heads butted together. Cyclope quickly gets out of the corner with a drop kick.
Yeah, the Harlem Heat comparison was weird. Yes, Kenny Chaos was with Rick Steiner as the tag champs.
A pickup.
Oh shit! That was ridiculous.
What power is gonna...
Peter Kassa is the guy I believe you're thinking of, Ebenezer Prime, who like broke his neck because Gabe Zabalski couldn't rent a decent ring, and retired. There we go. There's our springboard move from Mr. Clothesline, Kenny Chaos. Mr. Clothesline with his springboard clothesline. We have winners. These guys are assholes. So sarcastic. That was incredible.
The fans are ecstatic. Look at them.
This is hour 7 of the recording session. Shivani just wants to fucking go home.
Let that electricity flow right out through the audience.
They just need to learn not to talk when you're talking, but we'll work with them on that.
I'm not giving them any golf tips, I'll tell you that.
Go ahead.
All right, here, luchadors try. They use what they have.
Luchadors
A lot of
try.
movement, high voltage. They'll use some
That's what
great
you say when, like,
teamwork. Use good ring positioning.
your kid sucks at a sport, but they really need to compliment them. You tried.
Carried on. The double tag team clothesline to the top and the winner's high voltage. Still to come more about the Great American Bash coming your way on June 14th.
Was Tony Schiavone on Kratom? Like Sabu? Alright, what's next? Coming up next, this guy's gonna hack into the mainframe to pull up Bryan Adams footage. God, I miss Taz and Excalibur calling dark. Just completely fucking gone. Super Calo, who on purpose fell down during his entrance. I thought he said Super Calo put that thing in your butt. I'm like,
Super Calo has made quite a name for himself in the cruiserweight ranks, Larry.
Well, this guy can move, and again, he's fearless. He's the guy from south of the border.
all right, Bravo, have a good night.
What fear means.
William Worthy,
The most unbelievable risk.
I believe, was a power plant guy for a little bit.
Gonna face young man by the name of William Worthy out of the WCW power plant.
Question is, of course, is he worthy?
We will find out, won't we?
Get it, Larry? Huh?
Hey, there's a lot of young guys wanting to be wrestlers. Of course, our power plant separates the men from the boys in about 30, 40 minutes. But let me give a warning to anybody who aspires to be a professional wrestler.
Fuck off, Larry.
Get a job.
Very good advice.
Oh, hey, look, that was a cool thing. He does kind of have the Hardy Boys logo on his tights. That's wild. It's like, the Hardy Boys logo is a Jeff Hardy creation. So he kind of accidentally, like, lucked into... Is that Hard Body here? No, that's not Hard Body Harrison's gear because it has 2 legs. Hard Body Harrison only had 1 leg on his tights.
No, didn't get 3. There you go. Worthy using that forearm shot of his. He's a big guy.
You know, that famous William Worthy forearm shot.
Got a 2 count.
Mr. Forearm.
Worthy, the first man up, and he clotheslined him down.
His singlet is so crooked.
And back to the attack once again. Well,
I've never seen a singlet get like that. Like, is his body diagonal?
It'll be a super grudge match coming up. Here's cover one only. Coming up part of the Great American Bash. You know, fans, in the weeks to come, as the countdown goes on.
Got him. Gonna do a suplex.
The Great American Bash. 1, 2.
Worthy's not bad, but you can tell this is like one of his first matches. Power Plant got you into really good shape. It just didn't develop that many great wrestlers.
Well, I think they are. Would you agree? I mean, you may not like what they've done, but you can't.
But everybody that came out of it was like a fucking cyborg. Oh shit! He actually did hit the tip of his elbow on the mat.
Big question is, just like Nash thought he could trust Hall, can Hollywood
Yeah, just hundreds of squats. Holy shit, William Charles Worthy.
I don't think they can trust themselves.
The initial man, WCW. That could have gotten him booked more often. I don't think the Power Plant destroyed as many knees as the Performance Center because, like, not that many guys finished training at the power plant. They ran most of the trainees off in like the first day, making them throw up.
Another came off. He nailed Mr. Worthy very hard, right in the upper chest, and right hit. This knocked all the air out of him. And Calo used his speed well.
Your winner, Super Calo, in our Slim Jim replay.
Well, I'm sure Slim Jim, somebody like an ad exec, was up early on a Saturday morning. We spent money on that match? Fuck. Batista did a power plant tryout. He's one of the guys who Buddy Lee Parker made throw up and chased him out of the power plant.
Hi, everybody. Stagger Lee Marshall taking up a second or two of your time. All of you Tri-State Wrestling fans, I want to talk about WCW. You really have to say NWO, because anywhere WCW
I want to talk about WCW on WCW Worldwide.
I guess that means everybody's coming.
What if he was like,
I
want to talk about UWFI?
Nassau County Coliseum, Monday, June 15th, and that means Nitro. Only the hottest thing going. See you for Nitro, Monday the 15th. Hi, everybody. It's Lee Marshall, and again, we have to
Lee,
thank
you don't have to say hi to
everybody
me
in
every
the area
time.
for making the WCW Monday Nitro coming in a Nassau.
You've said hi to me like a
Coliseum,
dozen
sold-out
times tonight, dude.
event. If you don't have tickets yet for Monday, June 15th, here is our advice. Call over to the Nassau County box
Wait, it was
office.
sold
We're
out
trying
last
right now
week.
to open up a few seats. In fact, I think we
Did
may
you
have
piss
found a
people
place we can
off
put a few
and they
seats. So
turned
call
their
there
seats or their
immediately
tickets in?
and make sure you're part of Monday Nitro
That
Live.
would
That's
be
the
great.
15th as we come into
If
Uniondale.
Dwayne Bruce showed up to
Contact the
Batista's
Ticketmaster
movies.
near you.
Why'd you get
Few
skinny?
things have changed over the past couple of weeks, and one of them
Yeah,
is the
God.
fact that Chris Jericho no
The power
longer
plant, I feel like,
the
existed
cruiserweight
just so
champion.
they
I have
could
noticed
send
that,
news
however, you
crews
have this
there
article in our new magazine. This, what is it? The Inside the Jungle.
watch guys
Only
throw
article
up.
written in Ebonics, I see. Chris, you are
What?
no longer sporting the... Wait a minute.
He just said that
You've
Chris
got- this is a
Jericho's
bogus
magazine article was written in
knockoff,
Ebonics.
No good, illegal, unauthorized, non-sanctioned shirt.
Can you give any more words to throw in there? Do you have your thesaurus in your back
And
pocket
badly
there?
made.
Trying to show how smart you are, how intelligent you are. Well, you know what, Lee Marshall? I was mad. I was angry.
This
when
is
the
when we
conspiracy
liked
came
Chris
through, and I
Jericho.
lost my belt, but you know what? I'm not mad anymore.
And we as a
Legally,
nation.
I have a case. Legally, I'm 100% right, and I will have my belt returned to me on a silver platter with the head of Dean Malenko and a handwritten apology as well. But you know what's even better about
He's
Monday
going to
Night
murder
Jericho?
Dean Malenko.
Nitro at Nassau Coliseum. You know what's even better? It's the return of a true hometown hero, the man of 1,004 holes himself, myself, born in Manhasset, Long Island, New York. Just down
That's
the road
right.
from
Yes, that is
Uniondale,
true.
hometown hero.
You would know that
Great
if you
for
watched
me.
2004
All the Jericho
WWE,
all the way through Times
when
Square,
Vince
throughout New
McMahon
York City.
changed his
It's gonna be a great
hometown
day for me and a bad day for
because
you, Lee Marshall.
he
You
was
know why?
convinced
Because
that
not only, like I said,
fans
it's
wouldn't cheer a
great, and a
Canadian.
huge brouhaha for myself, but I will get my belt back, and you will be standing here holding the bag with a horrible suit and a bad toupee in Uniondale.
Before we go to our feature bout here,
All
on
right,
Worldwide
these are matches
Wrestling,
we will
here's
not
what's
see. Oh,
up
thank
next.
God we won't see that
Rick
next
Benoit
week.
will be with us, eyeing a shot at Booker T at Great American Bash. And who else
I don't think
next
Lee
week
Marshall
back to
ever
the
took a
show?
bump on TV.
Well, take a look. Finley. They only have
That's
one
not how you
shoulder
spell
pad.
his name.
He's got a
It's
lot
an
of
A, not
holes.
an E.
And he also has a world television title around his waist as well.
Oh, Jim Duggan's here, and he still has that weird flagpole.
Always excitement when the big man from Glens Falls, New York, joins us in singles competition next week on Worldwide Wrestling, and then
Oh,
the man
Goldberg.
everybody's talking about, a man worth his weight in Goldberg.
he's the U.S. Heavyweight Champion. He'll join us next week. What a spectacular show next week on WCW.
Fit Finley is still with us. He works for WWE.
Familiar music.
He is a producer.
And a member of NWO Hollywood.
All too familiar music. Very annoying music, I find.
Brian Adams is like, look, I'm with the group that's over. I promise you, I'm really with the NWO, despite what one would be led to believe.
Really loyal to the Hollywood?
So far he has been, and whether he remains that way or not over the next couple of months remains to be seen. You know, we
Brian Adams was glad to no longer have to be a Nazi biker.
Well, look at the one.
Yeah, they're 35, 36 years old, still live with their mom, had no job.
I thought you were talking about 35 tons.
And his opponents,
Probably that too.
the biggest sweetheart in the locker room, Bobby.
Brian Adams makes his way out. He'll have to face a man
Bo
who's been
Bobby.
around many times.
As the logo says. Bo Bobby Eaton. First name Bo, middle name Bubby, last name Eaton. Why did they put a space between Bo and BBY? Or was that his porn search? Big beautiful yuppie.
A stern look on the face of Adams. And Bobby Eaton very cautious here now.
There was a sunflower. Maybe because he's so nice.
A little too cautious. And Brian Adams, a big guy, but he can move very
that logo on the back of Brian Adams' singlet, that's just how most wrestlers' spines look.
Adams holding Bobby out across the front of the ring, and now the point of the elbow on the sternum.
Well, Adams is a nasty guy. I mean,
yeah, Bobby Eaton was around until middle of 2000.
Bodyguards, if you want to use that kind of word for Team Hollywood. I mean, Hogan surrounds himself with.
Well, they brought in Brian Adams because he quit the WWF out of loyalty to Bret Hart.
Now the battle lines are so thickly drawn, so bitter that, you know, coming up pretty soon, they're all going to get into it sooner or later. We're going to have ourselves a in-depth.
Shout out to Brian Adams for taking some bumps for Bobby Eaton.
They're just all going to fight to the finish.
Not for those punches, though. Fuck you. That's the move you take a bump for. I think part of the reason why I don't blame him for not doing anything with Bobby. Bobby was great, but like, they were a TV product, and Bobby Eaton, after the Blue Blood, just came off like this old, quiet man.
Well, over the years, the beatings that Bobby Eaton has taken and survived through, but Brian Adams looks like he's just overpowering.
Like, between his look and how well he sold, he just looked like a frail old person. Oh shit, okay.
One, two, three.
Well, what's one more beating?
Brian Adams and his sweet side pony. He's a hugger.
Just made some mistake. I don't think he realized
What a main event for. Oh shit, he did almost kick Bobby in the face there.
Bobby didn't know what to do. Picked the wrong route. Ran into the arms of a guy that looked like a grizzly bear.
In the arms of an Adam.
We'll have more on the card, more new matches next week, plus Goldberg will be with us next week. And for Larry Zbyszko and Lee Marshall, I'm Tony Tamani. See you next week.
All right, before we get to the last thing we're going to watch tonight, and we're going to end the night with a short episode of Saturday Night. Here's what we'll be watching next week, or here's what we'll be watching, not next week. If you're a YouTube member, a member of the Weirdo Empire, again, members only stream this Friday at 9 p.m. Here's what we'll be watching for Not Quite Wrestling.
Player number 1, Lois Rust of Evansville, is a retired school teacher. Lois says since she retired, she hasn't slowed down a bit. She's an active bridge player and a member of the Optimistas Club.
All right, so that is Friday for YouTube members. On Not Quite Wrestling. Watching a lottery game show. As we're going to watch Steve Armstrong here on this episode of Saturday Night from May 23rd, 1998.
Well, I sense that Chavo's frustration level has just reached the
I thought he was going to fucking French him.
He attacked the Ultimate
Well, Lois fucking Rust. Hell yeah. We're going to see how she does on Who's Your Millionaire on Friday. So yeah, check it off on the bingo card. Mark it on the bingo card, Jonathan. We did get an Armstrong. Chavo Guerrero against Steve Armstrong. We have the Steve Armstrong of the Guerrero family against the Chavo Guerrero of the Armstrongs. Oh, we're getting Eddie, not Chavo. Never mind.
We start off with Uncle Eddie taking on Steve Armstrong.
Come on, cousin. Rub me. Or nephew. Come on, nephew. Rub my body.
It's the Braves and the Chicago Cubs, and what a busy week it has been since we last spoke to everyone here on the Superstation. And the beat goes on, Scott, with the announcement that was made last Monday on Nitro that Hollywood...
It is wild how much more of a wrestling show this feels like than those shows at Universal. Just by not being in a dead studio. Hey, gee, I wonder who's going to win. The guy they showed during the other guy's entrance and then gave his own entrance, or the Armstrong. Yeah, vibe is so much different. Such a good entrance song, by the way. Great shit.
Bash 98 from Baltimore. You can join us by calling your cable company Baltimore. That place is going to sell out. It may be sold out already, Mike, today. I'll tell you what else. I am so pumped. We're coming back to the Georgia Dome.
Well, Scott, the big
yeah.
on the Georgia Dome is that
fuck you, Nassau.
Next Friday, May the 29th, the Nitro.
What is Nick Patrick even pantomiming here? It doesn't look like get in the ring and wrestle. He's like doing like a dice thing. Gonna go gamble after the show?
And the Nitro Girls at the Georgia Dome box office next Friday morning at 10 o'clock. Also on sale next Friday, Thunder rolls into
Nick Patrick doing a flavor saver.
And tickets there at the Coliseum box office and all Bass outlets, plus the giant...
Yeah, a little bit weird, the mix and match. That was a sweet drop step into a drop toe hold escape on the waist lock by old Stevie Armstrong.
June the 14th, as we mentioned, and tickets in Baltimore are available at the arena box office and Ticketmaster.
You know how out of control.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if they did a keep your hand on the wrestling ring to win a car contest, and you're in it, and you look over and you see Nick Patrick as the competition, you're fucked.
Chavo Guerrero Jr., look at the intensity in the eyes of that young man. We saw on Thunder a couple of nights ago, Mike, today, an interview with Grandma Guerrero.
Like playing horse against Jordan.
Luck would have it, was not wearing the towel Eddie Guerrero said she wears all the time.
Yeah, I have to wonder how many wrestling fans hated the Braves for taking away from their beloved.
Yeah, there was something missed in that translation because I was listening to what she said in Spanish, and she was talking about the pressures that go along with being a third-generation wrestler like Chavo Guerrero Jr., like having to follow in the footsteps of the famous Guerrero family, trying to live up to that legacy, and the pressure that's been put on him by Eddie Guerrero.
And Eddie was so good at just doing the same movements as everybody else.
Steve Armstrong, drop kick on Eddie Guerrero, and Eddie is hot at ringside. Let's see, he'll take it out.
Eddie is hot.
Right in the face. Slapped the taste out of his mouth. Paint brushed him at ringside.
And the look on Chavo's face, it was, what do you want me to do?
Steve Armstrong turning his back on Eddie. That's
Nick Patrick, he has a Jay Leno-esque garage from all those contests. Oh, what a good brain buster. They don't even bother with the whole shine heat comeback struck. Oh shit! On his hip. Eee. That's it. Nick Patrick has such a shitty old man voice. That's it. You know that famous Steve Armstrong injury angle? He's paintbrushing him. I always love when the play-by-play guy calls the wrestlers dude. That's awesome. Glad to hear he's a nice guy, Commodore Amigo. By the way, shout out to my SSRI gang. Gonna take my med for the night. So I can go to sleep after we're done.
Back on him like you did Thursday on Thunder.
Oh, didn't he? And poor Ultimo Dragon.
Bo Diddley.
Boy, Chavo is capable of doing some serious damage.
Yeah, Nick Patrick cannot officiate a family.
But Chavo Guerrero Jr. has Eddie in his sights. Let's take another look at our Castrol torture.
Castrol GTX. Motor oil you can buy at a grocery store.
Brainbuster type suplex, and then up and off the top rope, crashing down across the leg, the extended leg and the knee. Actually caught the hip also. Oh man.
Oh man.
Armstrong as we take several different looks at the frog splash on his way to the win.
We've got action still to come. That's later on Saturday night. Back on WCW Saturday night.
Mike today looks so like he doesn't have a clue what to do on camera. Wolfpack into his house.
Answer to the New World Order. We'll go back and revisit that also. And we don't see too many of these in the main event. The Giant takes on two men in a handicap match.
Look at how tiny those fucking belts are.
Most eventful weeks ever in WCW history. Well, let's tell you that there were two world's title changes at
Like today, button in that top button, so everybody knows he means business.
Sting and the Giant as a team defeated the Outsiders to win the World Tag Team Championship belts. Also, Scott Hall and Dusty Rhodes are the newest member of Team Hogan, the Black and White.
That's not singular, it's plural.
Tonight, here on Saturday night on the Superstation, we are going to see both factions of the NWO involved, with Conan as well as the Giant yet to come in this program.
We'll also have more about the Great American Bash pay-per-view coming
Today's just done with wrestling, very much alive.
Let's go to the ring. We've got action.
He still watches it, he just has no desire to be involved in it. He was inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame last year with Don West. There we go, Chris Adams. And/or a cartoon about King Arthur's court. Will his eyes turn red at any point in this match?
Chris Adams, I don't know that you would call him the innovator of the super kick. In fact, I don't think he is. But the super kick that Chris Adams...
I always found it funny when the news came out. It was like a year or so into the 205 Live run, and they kind of like rebooted it because it had gotten too silly after the Enzo Amore stuff. They're like, we need to get this thing a commissioner, and they called Mike Tenay to be the commissioner of 205 Live, and he said no, but they thought he was going to say yes, so they already started hyping, and that's how Drake Maverick got his main roster spot. Tenay's been a sports book guy in Vegas, but I think he's retired now. Okay, I'm sorry about that, Brian. Hopefully your dad's calmed down.
Basic standing sidekick, as Saturn has explained to us on several occasions.
It certainly isn't the hardest maneuver to execute if you know what you're doing.
Bobby Blaze is one of the funniest guys to get a contract in this era. Like, he got a contract just because he was pushed as a joke at the end of Smoky Mountain, because Cornette had nobody else. Bischoff's like, oh, I saw your name in PWI. Here's $75,000 a year. Good. I'm glad, Brian. Sportsbook means that, like, Mike today would be one of the guys setting the odds at the Vegas casinos for various sporting events. Yeah, Bobby Blaze did mocap for Mayhem, so they let him be in the game.
Plus, you can meet Sting at the Tower Records Wow store, as you mentioned.
Bobby Blaze looks like the Lance Von Erich of the Armstrongs. I don't believe he beat Lawler for the USWA title. I don't believe that. Maybe he did. Everybody beat Lawler for that title. I think I beat him once. He won and lost that thing like 78 times. That's a sweet hold.
Today, next Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
think Goldberg will
Yeah, let's go meet Sting at Tower Records.
They'll just fit right in perfectly.
We also have an announcement later to come about an on sale in San Diego.
Remember when you had to leave the house and then pick up a physical thing off of a shelf and then give somebody money to listen to music?
It's WCW live action. It's the hottest ticket in town. Bobby Blaze opening up on Gentleman Chris
Bobby Blaze is the next Pokemon evolution of Jimmy Del Rey.
It's been difficult for Adams to get on track. Bobby Blaze has been in control.
Lois Rust beat Lawler for the USWA title.
An upset it would be if young Bobby Blaze could get the victory. Whoa, strafed him right across the bottom row.
Catapult maneuver by Blaze, and Adams' windpipe makes contact.
I'll tell you this once, Bobby Blaze is a much braver man than I for wearing a little Speedo that says Blaze with an explosion animation on his ass. All right, Stephen J. Neptune Man, this day in history, this week in history, May 23rd, 98. The Cubs beat the Braves 10-6. Pacers beat the Bulls 107-105 in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Sabres beat the Washington Capitals 2-0 in Game 1 of the NHL Eastern Conference Finals. And the #1 movie in America was the Godzilla remake with Matthew Broderick, which I did see in theaters with my dad.
That's the veteran. When you feel those shoulders on the mat, kick out. Oh, and Blaze misses. I don't know if you were going for the elbow or the knee. Oh,
Hell yeah, bro. I think we all should. Why don't I make a blood oath to get little panties with their favorite American gladiators on their ass?
He's firing up now on Bobby Blaze. Forearm to the jaw by Chris Adams. Shoots him in. Waits on him. Oh, and Blaze. Forearm across the back of the head. Watch Adams. This is it.
Oh, super sick. The movie sucked. Soundtrack wasn't bad. I like that Wallflowers cover of Heroes.
It's coming up June 14th. Let's take a look at the Great American Bash.
I didn't know that it was Bret Hart.
Look at that song.
I had no idea that Hogan would come on down to the ring and scoop you by the legs. I didn't see it.
What you got? Because what happened doesn't sit too well, you understand that?
I'm not going to be the kind of referee to let it sit.
This is such a confusing main event scene. I don't think they knew who was a babyface or heel in this era.
You don't go reversing any decisions on me. I won that match right in the middle of the ring. You two.
I believe it did have a rage track on it, yeah.
Piper, you hate me.
Wait. I think it's the famous Dodo Bird promo. Piper, so you're an icon? Sounds like a bird. A dodo bird.
Punching bags and keep trading them off. But one thing that I can count on, both of us hate the Hitman and Hollywood worse than we hate each other. We kick their rear ends. How about it? I like that.
Now, 4 of wrestling's biggest names have agreed to face off to
And I love that Bret Hart heel era where he's Hogan's friend and he would wear Hogan shirts, but he wasn't in the NWO. So goofy. Do do ba do 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 ba do do ba do 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 ba do boo. I'm gonna skip this recap here.
Oh, you just don't want to commit. Got him right from behind.
He's standing over Sting. We got our
Oh, let's pretend that like somebody came down with a t-shirt gun and shot them all. Yeah, I'm sure that was just Bret trying to make sense of shit and not like an actual thing. Yeah, by this point they didn't know what was going to be on Nitro, so they're just like guessing who was going to show up. At the beginning of Nitro, they had matches to announce every week. All right, who's coming out? Goldberg 420 doesn't seem like a pot guy to me. Oh, Bobby Eaton again. Hey, good on Bobby. For a guy that likely mowed his own lawn he does not have any sort of a tan.
For Washington, D.C., Auburn Hills, Michigan, and Tampa, Florida are all available.
Oh, poor Bobby. He's going to get killed by a Tongan. Oh, baby. Oh, baby Eaton. Yes, but Goldberg offered to lose and end the streak at a house show in Huntsville, Alabama to Bobby Eaton. Because Bobby Eaton was the one veteran that was like, hey, I'll show you how to do this. Kind of got an NIL deal with Elmer's Clue. This is Jimmy Hart in his I have to be a real person now outfit.
I don't think the Barbarian needs a wake-up call like Jimmy Hart just gave him with that slap in the face a la Eddie Guerrero.
Bobby's, I don't know, he might be in the one Hall of Fame in Iowa. He might be, I don't know. Definitely not in the WWE Hall of Fame. I think the Midnight Express is in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. I think. Nobody sells Bobby's punches. No, not Cauliflower Alley. No, they don't have a Hall of Fame. They just give out random awards. There's a Hall of Fame in Iowa.
Like we said earlier, both former members of very successful tag teams, and the most successful former tag team in WCW right now, Mike, today, without question, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
And what a shocker it was at the conclusion of last.
I actually think it's the other way. I think Cornette has been trying to get the Midnights in the WWE Hall of Fame. But WWE doesn't want anything to do with Cornette. Because he's become too much of a fucking asshole in his podcast. Said some things that even they don't want to be affiliated with. Think about that.
We thought those two were just like that forever, for life, if you will. But no go, nothing is for life in the New World Order. We found that out.
Well, they laid the groundwork. They were the founding fathers of the.
Now let's just put Bobby Eaton in all the Hall of Fames. Why not? I was trying to research something for a short, and so I put on the Bobby Eaton high spots shoot, and I gave up after like 10 minutes because I legitimately couldn't understand a word he was saying. Like I gave up. That's what Cornette says, but I also don't think they've asked him. I think they want to distance themselves from Cornette because of his words that he says.
That's all he needs. Have Jimmy Hart interfere.
Oh, Jimmy Hart, he's done nothing, he says. Oh, and Barbarian, forearm across the chest of Bobby Eaton.
Big overhand clubbing blows to the chest sends Eaton down.
Yeah, Bobby Eaton did a high spot shoot interview, and
tries to fight back. Oh, little effect, however. What a
I'm trying to think. He had like a 30-40 year career, and they got through it all in an hour because Bobby talked so fast. And he blah, 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 did his conjuring. Corny's a liberal, but he's a liberal because he lost a shitload of money in the stock market under the W campaign, or the W stint in office. Hello, Canada Relief Benefit. Hello, hello. Like, he's the type of liberal that'll be like, yeah, I support gay rights, and then call you the F slur in the same breath.
He got his jaw jacked with that right hand of Bobby Eaton when he hopped up on the ring apron. But then Eaton turned around and met nothing but boot.
The Great American Bash is June 14th on pay-per-view. Call your cable company or satellite provider and tell them I want the summer tradition from WCW.
Now, they had Tony Hinchcliffe, but, like, I don't know. Cornette shit also isn't so much political as he's, like, wishing death on people left and right.
Like guys falling out of the ceiling 80 or 100 feet on a motorcycle and then making outrageous challenges as the wrestling wars heat up.
What the fuck show are you watching, dude?
Tonight during my exclusive hotline report, I'll talk about those challenges. I'll talk about some of the backlash that we're receiving. Things that we're hearing.
Oh yeah,
from
this is all
lawyers
about the
and
Bischoff
other top
McMahon
officials
stuff at
that we can't
Slamboree.
talk about on the air.
The backlash they received was just a letter from Jerry McDivitt. Like, hey, I'm not coming.
Plus, what about the divisiveness amongst the members of the NWO? Will that division go even deeper? Find out by picking up the phone and giving me a call right now at 1-900-909-9900. That's 1-900-909-9900.
Yeah, Gene's got a
$1.69
great
tips.
fucking
You need your
tan on
parents'
him.
permission, but call the hotline right now.
On Saturday night, Scott Hudson and Mike Tenay, and we saw earlier in this program Sting's.
Why does Mike Tenay look like somebody's holding a gun off camera? If you move an inch, you get it.
Has picked up Hollywood Hogan's annoying habit of revising history. This
Oh,
past Thursday,
Hollywood Hogan's annoying habit of saying the N-word.
And you know what's amazing, Scott? Lex Luger
Carry the racist dragon.
Cleveland, Ohio, last Thursday on Thunder. We know Sting is not NWO, but we know there is.
I think everybody sucked on Nitro commentary when Scott Hudson was there.
Down on wrestling's hottest new show. Let's go back to WCW.
What's that face today?
Sting and I are fine. Hey, we're tag team champs together. He's made the right choice.
We're gonna skip this recap too because it's probably not gonna make it to YouTube anyway. Like, oh yeah, Lex Luger beat the Giant.
The reigning World TV title holder, Fit Finlay, as well as the leader of the flock, Raven. It's all this Wednesday on TBS.
And there are some
Yeah, blink if he's hurting you, Mike.
for Thunder this Wednesday in Nashville, Tennessee. They're available at the Municipal Auditorium box office in Nashville and through ticket.
Johnny Attitude again. This guy got so much work. Holy shit.
Tickets at the box office and all fantastic outlets. And back to the city of brotherly love, June the 18th for Thunder in Philadelphia at the Core State.
He has like a mullet that consists of 5 really long hairs in the back.
It's just not any hotter than WCW.
Attitude is God, I hope he hits the Attitude. Oh shit, Johnny Attitude gets a member of the NWO. God, I wonder how low in the totem pole it's gonna be. If this is EWR, Sophie would be like, "You're using him too much. He's losing overness."
Next up, a member of
Oh, this is before they got the Wolfpack music.
Conan from the New World Order.
God, this is gonna be horrible. Mark Madden he tried too fucking hard.
I guess that you and I had both jumped to the conclusion that Scott
He wanted to
Hall
pop
and
the
Dusty
internet.
Rhodes were definitely going to be aligned with Kevin Nash and the Wolfpack. It just seemed natural.
Exactly.
Well, the wrestling world is still talking about that attack by Scott Hall last Sunday and the Wolfpack and the black and white attack.
I can't be too mean about Conan because he apparently says nice things about me on his podcast.
Please tell me Conan isn't.
But this is gonna suck.
I know your body, Bowdy.
What?
I'm about to admit something very embarrassing. There was a period in 1998-ish where like little boy Tommy would wear his flannels with the one button like Conan. I thought it looked cool. I probably looked like the biggest fucking asshole.
Get that mic away from that man. Thank you, Charles Robinson. Johnny Attitude and Conan, and I gotta think that Conan, along with all of the other members of the Wolfpack, have only one person in their
Yeah, little Cholo Tommy. Yeah.
Hollywood Hogan, about Bret Hart, about everybody else. They want Scott Hall.
It wasn't cool like for me. I was a fucking little chunky ass white kid from Indiana.
Completely shocked like you and I were last Sunday at Slamboree when Scott Hall just glommed Kevin Nash.
Snapmare him over by the 4 hairs on his head.
Well, I think we all fell for that, and remember it was Dusty Rhodes.
I also went through a sweater vest period when the Mean Street Posse was on TV.
And I think we all fell into the same trap that Kevin Nash did.
During the break, I did a little investigative journalism back there.
Yeah, but that's California. I'm fucking Hicksville, Indiana.
We have got members
Me and Orville Redenbacher. I did not go through a FUBU phase. No. Thank you for letting me know that, Alan. Hopefully you didn't get a deep cut on your jump. Thank you.
Separated backstage. Well, now there's 3 locker room areas now. That's correct.
There's 3 locker room areas.
White attack, as well as the Wolf Pack, and security guards milling about, just trying to keep everyone separated.
Doug Dellinger just walking aimlessly, looking for a jacket to steal. The Johnny attitude.
Having Conan in the ring, it's certainly going to calm things down back there, but I'm not going back there again. No way.
Yeah, that little chop. Yeah.
Level Johnny attitude with the lariat. That one doubled him over, and then he drove him face first to the canvas.
And Conan,
Waiting for his interview time with Lee Marshall.
gives us over the mic, is a very, very talented.
And I never understood till later that if you did this on your head with Conan, those little wolf ears.
Not just in the pro wrestling style, but also in so many different forms of submissions. Johnny attitude.
Oh! This is shockingly better than I thought it'd be. In that it's competent. And that they haven't fucked anything up.
Can attitude hang on? No, there's the tap. And Conan with the sunrise gets the win over Johnny Attitude Saturday night.
Conan's like, no, I'm just going to sit here on this hold that I'm not applying any pressure on. Yeah, the Hogan Jinko run is very funny. And has provided many a funny meme. Toilet time with Lee Marshall. Yeah, look at the impact. He just boops him a little bit. Leveled him with that lariat.
Led to the tequila sunrise, hooks the arm first, then the leg, and it's all over from there.
When we come back on Saturday night, the Giant takes on 2 men. Can he hang?
2 men. I'm sure they're big stars, judging by the fact that you won't say who they are.
2 men will enter right now.
Who are these 2 men? Yeah, Conan's finisher was just a single leg Boston Crab with a little wrist lock thing. Who will they be? Oh shit, it's the Power Company. Dave and Steve, I think their names were. Their little titty singlets. Arr, we're mad and we're twin medium voltage. No, they're not Big Boom AJ. Come on, Ash. I see it. Those look like toy belts. God, he's massive. That's disgusting. Spitting your gum at the cameraman.
And we want to remind everyone that
5 big booms. Boom. For the Power Company.
In any fashion. Now, I was just wondering, is the Giant putting the tag team titles on the line in this handicap match tonight?
I hope so. What if the Power Company became the tag champs? We're not going to have Big Boom AJ and Big Justice Slander in the chat. They fucking rule. Those are my dudes.
I guess they are tag team champions of the world. But just from judging by that and judging from what we've heard recently from him, he still thinks that he and Sting are together, that they're united as a team. Is he mistaken?
Well, I don't trust
the main event is watch the Giant beat up 2 guys.
Not at all, but we saw on Thursday.
The main event of Saturday night is a wrestling match with twins. Yeah, seriously, how fucking small is that belt? Do I think the Power Company got gas? Probably. Probably what they run on. God, they look so small next to him. They were tiny little fellows. Like, this genuinely looks like King Kong Bundy against Calo. Oh my gosh.
Plus, meet Goldberg and the Nitro Girls at the
What do I think would have happened if Paul White would have gone to the WWF in '95? I think Vince would have made him like a lumberjack or something stupid. I don't think his career would have gone nearly as well. Oh my gosh. Oh, he almost didn't get him up for that. Random fucking powerbomb. These guys are like Rey Mysterio tall. Oh.
Just planted him with the choke slam. The floor shook. The ring moved.
Oh, I thought he was going to go to the top rope. I have not watched Queen of the Ring. I've heard it's really bad. And I'm not tempted to watch it because the director's a big L transphobe. God. That's the main event of the show, by the way. Yeah, supposedly he could do a moonsault. Him and his little tiny tag team title belts. That was the main event of the show. And if I remember correctly, it was the main event of that live taping. The last match they did. All right, before we go, that was it. Last match of the night. But here's what we'll be watching next Tuesday on WCW Deep Cuts Live.
Well, without a doubt, Jim Anvil Neidhart, one of the roughest, toughest polecats that I've ever seen in a long, long time. And I'm going to tell you something. He's going to put a lot of victories under his belly.
All right. That does it for tonight. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me for the last couple of hours. It's been a real great hang. I appreciate y'all being here. Gordon Solie was with WCW until 95. And he was alive until end of 99, beginning of 2000. So yes, next week we go back to 93. Again, if you are a member of my YouTube channel, a member of the Weirdo Empire, a paid member, I am back Friday at 9 p.m. Special time. We're not doing Not Quite Wrestling on Sunday this month due to that fucking Tony Khan. So I will be streaming Not Quite Wrestling for YouTube members only this Friday. But before I go, like I always like to end these streams with, even if you don't make it, I would love to have you, of course, and I hope you do make it, but even if you don't, I still just want you to make it to next Tuesday. That's all I'm asking for, 7 days. Life is hard. Life sucks. I go through it as much as anybody, but I really think we can do it, you guys. 7 days. I'll see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, WCW Deep Cuts Live. My name is Tom. Go to bed!